Dante wakes up to find himself at the edge of a great dark valley, in which he cannot see anything. Virgil is very pale and Dante mistakes him of being scared. Virgil explains he is not scared, but rather he is sympathetic for his neighbors. This is Virgil's home in hell, Limbo.
Limbo. Limbo means the supposed abode of souls of unbaptized infants and of those who just died before the coming of Christ. In Dante's Inferno, it is referred to as the edge of hell. This is because out of the 9 circles, this is the first circle of hell. In this circle, no real sins were committed, and some people even achieved merit. The reason for them being sent to hell is because they were never baptized, or they were born before the coming of Christ, but they were not bad people. When Dante asked Virgil if people were able to escape from the circle of hell and go to heaven, Virgil replies with yes. In fact, he saw with his own eyes the harrowing of hell. The harrowing of hell is where Christ enters Limbo and takes Old Testament worthies like Noah, Moses, Abraham, David, and Rachel into his all-forgiving arms and transfers them up to heaven. Noah was a righteous man in the time of wicked people. God told him that all wicked people would die in a flood and told him to build an ark so that he would survive. He was also able to take 2 of each animal with him. Moses was a prophet of God. He led the Israelites away from being slaves for the Egyptians. Abraham was the progenitor of the Hebrews and the founder of Judaism. David was the king of Israel. He committed a wicked sin. He saw a beautiful woman one day and wanted to marry her. He sent her husband to the front of battle so that he would die and he could marry the woman. God knew this and punished him for it. David recognized his sin and tried to make up for it by praying and sacrificing. Rachel was not able to conceive a child, so she told her husband to sleep with her servants so she could build a family. Eventually God made her able to conceive a child. Christ came to Limbo and took all these Old Testament worthies up to heaven. Limbo is a place of sorrow without torment. There is no punishment here, and the atmosphere is peaceful, yet sad. They don't suffer as much as other sinners. They only feel the absence of God's love as a constant ache. Otherwise, they frolic in their pretty fields.
In the distance, Dante sees a castle and men are there. When Dante and Virgil get to them, Virgil introduces Dante to Homer, Horace, Ovid, and Lucan. Homer is best known as the author of the Iliad and the Odyssey. He was believed by the ancient Greeks to have been the first and greatest of the epic poets. Horace was a leading Roman lyric poet in the time of Augustus. He wrote the Odes, Epodes, and many more books. Ovid was a Roman poet who lived during the reign of Augustus. He existed at the same time as the older Virgil and Horace, with whom he is often ranked as one of the 3 canonical poets of Latin literature. Lucan was a Roman poet born in Corduba, in the Hispania Baetica. Despite his short life, he is regarded as one of the outstanding figures of the imperial Latin period. Another person worthy of mention was Aristotle. Aristotle was a Greek philosopher and scientist born in the city of Stagira. Aristotle was one of the greatest philosophers of all time. All these people did nothing wrong, nothing deserving of hell in their life, except for the fact that they were never baptized or lived before the coming of Christ. Virgil and his friends talk for a while until they notice Dante and invite him in. Dante is ecstatic at being the 6th among such intellects. They enter a shining palace. Inside there are countless courtyards and gardens. They also encounter a bunch of Greek and Roman heroes, like Hector, Aeneas, Caesar, Socrates, Plato, and many more. After reciting poems, Dante and Virgil leave. Each step forward brings them into a darker and darker territory.
Dante's attitude. Dante called the people in Limbo virtuous pagans. By saying that they are virtuous, he does not think they are bad people, and he may even have thought they are great people. But by calling them pagans, he believes that since they are never baptized, or they were never born before the coming of Christ, they still deserve to be in hell.